Joyce.
All right, Sam, thank you. The Barnaby Joyce affair has hit the government hard in this morning's news poll. Labor has increased its lead to 6%, two-party preferred, the 27th consecutive news poll loss for the coalition under Malcolm Turnbull. Mr Turnbull's lead as preferred PM has also been reduced by 7%.
But the most telling result for the government is on Barnaby Joyce. 65% of voters polled think the Deputy PM should quit over his extramarital affair with a staff member. Almost two-thirds support the sex ban between ministers and staff imposed by the PM. And let's bring in the senators to discuss this. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson and Justice Party leader Derryn Hinch. Good morning to both of you. Pauline, I find these numbers really interesting because I suspected that a lot of people out there in viewerland didn't really care what Barnaby did in his private life, but 65% think he should quit. Can he survive this?
Well, actually, Sam, I'm not interested. I'm so over this. You spoke to me about the same issue a week ago. It's been going on every day in the newspapers. You know, I've got people in Townsville that are at less than possibly 15% of water supply. I've got family law court matters. People are actually being murdered or, if not, suiciding. These are more important issues. I'm sick and tired of the Barnaby Joyce. Let them sort it out. I'm not commenting.
So, Pauline, you think he should have been Prime Minister this week, that we should just all have ignored it and just let it go?
Look, the Prime Minister's made his decision. It's between the National Party and the government, right? No comment that I'm going to make is changing this. The people have had their say, you know, so it's up to them now. I'm more concerned with, you know, dealing with the issues that are concerning the people. It's on my Facebook page. People are commenting. They're so fed up with it. They're sick and tired of the politicians. They want them to get on and do the job they were elected to do. That's what they want. This has just gone on for far too long. It's been driven by the media and it should stop. Now let them sort it out. It's between the Prime Minister and Barnaby Joyce and the members of the National Party to actually decide how this is going to end. Get it out of the media, then they might come to some decision.
I wish we didn't. I wish we could. I'm sick of it too. I wish we didn't have to talk about it, Derryn. But then you get a poll this morning that says that 65% want him out, and you think, well, that means this story keeps going.
It does keep going, and it'll keep going.
That's up to Barnaby now to make the decision.
Yeah, well, Barnaby Joyce
make the decision.
No, Barnaby Joyce should be forced by the Nationals to quit. Pauline, I'll agree with you on one thing, that it is dragging the oxygen out of anything else about company tax or aged care or family courts. I'll agree with that. But the man should not be there. To have the Prime Minister and Scott Morrison yesterday, Morrison saying we're a professional government, which is rubbish, when you've got the Prime Minister saying there's nothing to see here, when he doesn't trust his deputy with running the country or being acting Prime Minister, something's rotten in the state of Denmark. Barnaby Joyce has to be forced by his party. They have to bite the bullet and remove him. Put him to the back bench, because more stories are going to happen, they're going to break. The biggest story to me, and it makes me ashamed in a way today to say what my profession is George Christensen. For him to do that stuff with a gun yesterday, brandishing a gun, when kids are being buried in bloody Florida, I tweeted yesterday, it's sick. And I think that the man should apologise on his knees. This is the most disgusting thing I've seen, I think, since I've been in Canberra.
What do you think about that, Pauline?
Look, I haven't seen the photo. I'm hearing it is very distasteful, and I'd have to take Derryn's word for that. It's been removed from his Facebook page. Now, we have different gun laws in Australia than what the United States do have. You know, guns are used. He was at a gun club. Now, guns are used for sporting, and it's a farmer's tool. And we have, you know, so I think that let's not take it completely out of context and say, you know, get rid of all guns. He was very wrong in what he did. It was distasteful, and but I still support guns for sporting and for
you haven't seen it. Pauline, he's aiming a gun and he's saying something like, do you feel lucky, greeny punks? He's making some verbal threat to another political group. I have fights with Sarah Hanson Young, I know you do, but some of the obscenities that have been written to her and threats to her over the last 24 hours are sickening, and this is what Christensen is responsible for. I find it so offensive. I'm absolutely bloody fuming about it, because it is disgusting, and he belittles every politician, and gee, we can do it on our own.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
I don't agree with that, and I totally agree with what you're saying, Derryn. It was distasteful, and like I said, I haven't seen it, but as you've described it, no, it's not right. It's about time, you know, the politicians got out of the gutter and started, you know, stop criticising everyone else. I get called on the floor of Parliament all the time racist, or because my opinion's different to everyone else. You know, I've copped it for years, and I'm sick and tired of it myself. But you know, I've got. My skin's probably thicker than a lot of other people, and I stick with what I believe in. But you know, let's do our jobs for the people. That's what we're there for.
Okay.
Well, the Queensland Police have said they won't press charges. They're not taking any further action. So I suppose I don't know what the laws are against posing with guns on Twitter.
It's up to his party. It's up to the National Party to censor him. They've got to. I mean, of course, Barnaby has lost all authority, so he can't go to Christians and say to him, "Listen, what you did is wrong." Because Christians can say, "Hey, you know, people in glass houses, sunshine."
Like, you're an adult and a politician. Like, think about it. What a stupid picture to take at a time like this, in a party like that that's going through what they're going through. It's stupid by George Christensen, but you can't charge people for stupidity.
Well, we'd all be arrested.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Joe Hockey has defended advertising his Sydney home for sale on a Chinese website. He's described the News Corp story as silly today, as Barnaby has done over the past 2 weeks, with the former treasurer adding the buyer must be Australian, including Aussies wanting to move home from Hong Kong. Derryn, Joe Hockey was very big on foreign ownership in his day as treasurer. Seems to have changed his tune a little bit.
Well, look, I've said in the past when this whole thing blew up under Keating, for a Chinese person or Japanese in those days to buy a house, some Australian has to sell it. Joe Hockey's an Australian. If he wants to sell it to a foreign buyer and it fits the rules, he's entitled to do so.
Yeah. Pauline, what do you think?
It's not. He's not doing anything against law in Australia. I have been trying to change these laws, and the general feeling is by the people of this country, they do not want to see foreign ownership. Until we actually change the laws here and stop foreign ownership, and if they stop foreign ownership of our housing, it will reduce the cost. Australians will be able to get in to own their own homes, but it's the law. He's entitled to do it. Let's change the laws.
I'd be a hypocrite. I once owned a house in Hawaii, in America, until the bank decided they needed it more than I did. But, you know, so while the laws are there, if we can buy overseas in some countries, they can buy here, as long as it meets the foreign ownership laws.
I'm not worried about overseas countries. Darren, I'm not worried about overseas countries. I'm worried about Australia here. We have seen so much of our foreign ownership of our own housing here, and it's got to stop. This is why Australians can't own their own homes. We're seeing all our farms, our land, everything being sold foreign ownership, and it's wrong.
Okay. All right, Senators, thank you for that. Have a good week. We'll catch up next Monday. Now, Australia.